Here we are, crazy journey it's been. Obviously, we met 9 months ago online, back when I was in the UK, and now we're both here in Australia. It's obviously been such a crazy journey for you. You've come such a long way. It's been amazing to be a part of. 25 kilos you've lost. Just really looking forward today to having a look into what your journey's been like the change in mindset you found, things you've learned that you'd like other people to know, having a bit of a look into how you found your own journey. Do you want to do a bit of an introduction on yourself, who you are?
My name is Xy Latu. I'm 45 years old. I live in Australia, Brisbane. And so far, this journey for me has just been insane. Like right from the very start, first time you hit me up, you slid into my DMs. and I just automatically really wanted to decline the offer just because it was so foreign to me, and didn't think that would be a possibility to train or be trained by someone, especially online. Mm-hmm. And then 9 months later, here I am, still with you.
Stuck with me.
And I'm just loving the journey. I'm learning so much about myself from, the potential of the person I can really become. Mm. This whole journey has really opened up and made me just really believe in myself a lot more. And it's my mentality before that. I thought I was happy. I really thought I was happy, and I was really, because I'm really optimistic. So I always try and see the positive in everything.
For sure.
But just looking back, at my videos, my old photos, just remembering how I was back then to comparing that to how I think now, it's like.
Can you see a difference when you look back at your videos, the difference in that person now actually in the video? Can you sort of see, wow, I've changed quite a lot, not just physically, but how you sort of talking and the types of things you're talking about and the things you're saying?
Absolutely. Just even my mannerisms have changed. The way I spoke, especially when I look into people's eyes. I used to cringe. I used to think, what are they?
Yeah.
Are they looking at me like I look ugly?
Yeah, you're just sort of looking down. Yeah.
But now I have a lot more confidence, and I don't stutter as much as I do. I'm able to just have more belief in myself when I approach certain situations. I'm not afraid to approach those situations with a bit more confidence.
Yeah. Awesome. So the first thing that you mentioned there after you introduced yourself was your age. I know that's something that you were sort of hesitant about when we first met online, because you were like, I'm 40. I think you were 44 back then.
Yeah, I was 44.
That was something I know was going through your mind. You was like, am I getting old, or is it too late for me? Obviously, you've been doing things in the past like bodybuilding, stuff like that, and when you were younger. So how have you found that process, getting over that limiting belief of your age, and how do you feel about that now?
The saying goes, you're only as old as you think. I think it was almost I was at the point of believing it's too late now. This is it. I just gotta, maintain what I have here, make sure my weight's at a good spot so I can still be able to play with my kids.
Yeah.
And so when the opportunity came up, I don't know, I was reluctant to jump on board, because I just felt how can I get there? I want to be there. I want to be. No, I really wanted to, in my head, I really wanted to be here, but I felt like I couldn't, there's no way I can get there.
Yeah.
But in my head, I just knew that this was the opportunity I was waiting for. And if I don't take it now, 8 weeks later, am I going to regret it, or am I going to be happy? So I literally closed my eyes and pressed send. That's it. I needed that. I guess I needed that accountability from someone else rather than myself, because I'm quite a self-motivated person, but even that person sometimes needs that push.
Yeah.
And my age played a massive factor in me trying to decide to do this or not.
Yeah.
But now, 9 months later, that's just a myth. I believe wholeheartedly that it's never too late, no matter how old you are.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people on, social media that are 70.
Yeah, crushing it.
Killing it.
They're just crushing it.
Killing it.
And that's all, it all starts up here, and I think that's been the biggest thing for you, and the best thing for me to see is just that change in your mindset. Because once you believe something's possible and you see that initial first bit of progress, that's when you then start really going hard with it, because you're like, actually, no, I can do this. And when you start putting that extra effort in, because you're like, actually, no, I'm going to get a return on this effort, that's when your results really just sort of skyrocket, go to that next level, and you just keep that momentum going. And yeah, that's been awesome to see. Obviously, you're a super busy guy, musician, and how have you found navigating the fitness journey, you know, losing all that weight, that 25 kilos, like whilst living a busy lifestyle? Obviously, it's not easy, but how have you found that sort of transition from really busy, not doing much about your fitness journey, and then taking that plunge and being like, actually, no, I want to do something about this? And what would you, I guess, say to someone that would consider themselves as sort of time poor?
Well, I think when I first started, it was kind of, and I guess it came down to like me prioritizing what's more important to me rather than,
sure.
you know, but as I always thought I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to do it. But I think it was more me prioritizing, giving my time to what I think is important.
Yeah.
So when I was trying to get into the gym, I just never prioritized, never made that something important for me to put in my time that I have free. But then the accountability came with you, and now I'm forced to put that in my time throughout my day. And then realizing, 8 weeks later, I had a lot more time than I thought. And it was just basically not giving it the time.
Yeah, it wasn't making the time for it.
Yeah, 100%. And I think there's, a lot of people are in the same exact boat, not prioritizing, not giving it the time, because we give time for other things, for our kids, for work.
Yeah.
And then what time we do have, we either want to just sit down, watch TV, Netflix, or go to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's for me, it was like sacrificing what do I sacrifice? Do I sacrifice a bit more of my sleep? Do I sacrifice the PlayStation 5?
PlayStation 5?
UFC 4? It was those little things. And then it's because it just came down to sacrificing things that I don't need for something that I do need now. And that's what it came down to. Just made that decision. Okay, this is the time I'm going to give it now. And now it's just a part of life. It's a part of our routine throughout the day. With me, my family, they all know, like, this is...
I'm not going UFC. I'm not playing UFC
No,
on the
no,
PlayStation. I'm going to the gym.
I give a little bit of time for UFC, but no. It's, just prioritizing my time and making sure, I think once people realize how much time they can give this and how much it'll change their life, like it's completely changed my life.
Yeah.
It's changed my wife's life and my kids as well, because, I really want to be the best example I can be for my kids. I see Omari, he looks at me, and Joe, and all he can talk about is going to the gym. Like, it's just natural for him now. Like, I think that's just going to be embedded in his head now.
Yeah.
So when he starts going to the gym, it's like natural. It's natural for me, which me and Joe are going to love, because we know he'll naturally be able to like take care of himself.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's all because of the journey that me and Joe is going through.
Yeah. And I remember, obviously he was there at the photo shoot doing the push-ups on the floor.
Dude.
It's just so good to see. And that's when it's not just about you, it's about the people around you, especially like your kids. Just that inspiration is so powerful. Your why.
Yeah, that's my why of, like, I do this for myself too, my health, but like I want to be around as long as I can for my kids. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die by accident, not by health. That's just the kind of person I've always been, trying to do things which I feel will better me health-wise. Now, even tried going vegan for like 6.5 years. That was crazy. It was good. It was a good learning curve. I learned so much about myself being vegan. That's when I tried training the whole bodybuilding.
Yeah. And how have you found that transition coming from the bodybuilding to what you're doing now?
Well, I worked a lot more harder back then. Like, it was like 6 days a week of just crazy like workouts. Like, it was insane. I think the only thing was my diet. Like, I was unsure whether I was eating the right calories, just because my body didn't look the way looks now back then, and I was training a lot more harder. Whereas now I'm like half the training of that.
Yeah. And that comes down to people thinking that it's all around the training, whereas actually, as you know now, it's just the training is a small part of that. You've got 24 hours in a day, and if you were training a couple hours of those before, but now it's just 1 hour or a little bit over that.
Yeah.
That's just a small part of the day, and you've got 23 other hours in the day to be part of your lifestyle. And if you're not focusing on those 23 hours, then you're missing out on a load of important gains there to be made.
100%.
It's the nutrition, it's the lifestyle, and I think that's been definitely a mindset shift for you as well.
Yeah, it's crazy because before meeting up with you, I had this thing in my, I had this way of how fitness is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And me and Joe were the same. Like, she would try all these fads. And I would try my own little things here and there. Taking what I've learned in bodybuilding and trying to incorporate that in my exercise. And I just never got the results.
Yeah.
Like, it's only because I had this thing, like I had it in my head how I'm supposed to do this. And then being with you in the past 9 months, it's like, what the hell? Like, it's not even that complicating. It's not like, this is me like thinking it's vegetables. I have to just eat really clean and just give up all these foods, when right now it's like, it's not even the case. Like, I'm not even, like, if I feel like chocolate, I can eat a little bit, obviously within my calories, but like, I can eat chocolate, I can eat a burger.
Yeah, you don't need to just completely restrict everything.
And I felt when I was restricting myself from that stuff, like when I was able to eat, I would just binge like crazy. And now at this point where my calories are a bit more up, so I just give it a bit, I don't even know what to eat anymore now. Like, it's almost like I've trained my body to eat calories in moderation and still be okay. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, and just changing like the actual foods that you're eating and making your body feel better with the amount of calories that you've got, and making sure that your diet consists of foods that are going to fill you up, keep you energized, but then get that balance with the foods that are going to, keep those cravings away, and eat foods you enjoy. So just definitely getting that balance before things you've done of just going way too hard with being restrictive or the binge, and just going through that cycle. Just got to get that balance so we can just stay consistent with that long term. And then 9 months goes by, and that's how you get results, being consistent for 9 months. There's no point in going hard for a month or two, 4, 8 weeks on some sort of challenge if you're just gonna go back to square one after it.
Yeah, that's insane.
But yeah, I think the accountability that you were talking about before, driving those habits in right from the start. But then after that, like now, you're obviously still being held accountable, but those habits have been sort of solidified into you now, where you're at a point where it's just part of your lifestyle, would you say?
It doesn't even feel like accountability. Yeah, it's like the part of your lifestyle now. Like,
and now it's just like guidance in a way.
Yeah. It's hard to explain because, like, I think accountability, it's like, it's almost temporary. It's like it's a temporary thing because there's something there.
Yeah.
Whereas it's more accountability on yourself. Like, but it's like an accountability you want. Because when you want to do something, it's almost like you're not being held accountable. I don't even know if I'm making any sense, but it's like, I don't mind that accountability because the results you get from it is where you want to be.
It's not like,
this guy,
what's this guy talking
about? Whereas in challenges, you're being held accountable, but you can't wait till it's finished.
It's just like
I don't have to I mean, sometimes I can't wait to fucking eat. Sometimes I can't wait to eat, but it becomes more of a lifestyle thing, and I don't mind that. I don't mind it.
But yeah, obviously 25 kilos.
25 kilos, man.
That is a lot of weight.
It's insane.
And how did that feel for you, back when you were 25 kilos heavier? Yeah, how did you feel within yourself?
It was like, I mean, like, I had a lot of I wouldn't say a lot, but there was like a few health problems. I was bigger. I had shoulder problems. They were a lot worse back then. I was like borderline sleep apnea. My snoring was really bad.
No, I remember.
Couldn't lie on my back at all. I always had to lie on my sides, and that helped me breathe a bit better. Coming from losing those 25 kilos.
Crazy.
And the only reason why I know is my wife sleeps better now. And she noticed it, and she kept telling me, she goes, man, you don't snore as bad. And the snoring is, you know, a little bit here and there, but it's not as bad as, not as near as bad as than what it was when I was, 25 kilos heavier.
No, not at all. And like the sleep's been a massive part of your journey as well. I know there's been times where you've been absolutely crushing training, nutrition side of things, you're getting your steps in, and you've said to me like, oh, Jack, I'm not really sure what's happening here. You know, things aren't progressing this week, or a couple of weeks go by and your weight hasn't gone down, and then we're looking into your lifestyle and like sleep and stuff like this. And actually, when we sort that stuff out, that was a massive game changer for you, because then that really helped with like your hormones, like with your energy and your hunger, and then that then allowed you to stay in that calorie deficit and do better in your training sessions and have that energy for the day. And that, I think, was a big turning point for you in realizing actually like this is not just training and nutrition, it's actually, there's a lot more to it than that, and I need to look at my lifestyle as a whole. Do you remember
100%,
that?
Yeah, I do. And I've always been told, so when I was training, doing the bodybuilding thing, they've always like nailed it into my head to sleep.
Yeah.
Get you sleep. And I didn't realize how important that was until you kept telling me to go to sleep. Get you 7 to 8 hours. And I was like, but I've heard like The Rock says I get 4 hours. I'm trying to be The Rock. He gets 4 hours sleep. But you know, there's like videos out there, yes, you ain't, if you don't get your, if you're sleeping, you ain't working, like, you know,
terrible.
saying, and this always played in my head. You know, you've always told me 8 hours sleep is so important, hormones, healing. And then there's these motivational speakers that are saying, you need to get, 4 hours sleep. Don't sleep. If you want to be successful, don't sleep.
It's terrible.
And then these doctors saying you need sleep to be at optimum.
It's confusing.
Yeah. And I'm just like, who the hell is right? Like, but I always lean towards getting sleep is obviously better because I feel better when I sleep.
Yeah.
So and going through the past 9 months and realizing that for those optimal results, you have to get your sleep in.
Yeah, I think it's the same with going hard with its diet and going hard with the training. It's going hard with everything. I think people go to these extremes for all these areas, and it's the same type of people that get drawn in to, the people that are talking about the go hard for 8 weeks, absolutely, destroy yourself on this fitness program, or, don't sleep at all. Like if you're sleeping, like you said, these people that say, oh, if you're sleeping, you're not doing enough work, you're not going to be successful. Okay, like I'm actually going to kill myself on this program. But actually it's about getting that balance and then not being that person on the other side that's being like, okay, I'm going to sleep for the whole day. Yeah. You've got to obviously have that middle ground. And I think it's just finding out where that middle ground is for you. And like with all this stuff, like getting to a point where you're in a place where you can just be consistent with what you're doing. Obviously, you're moving in the right direction, but you're actually being consistent with that rather than that sort of up and down yo-yo.
And I think that's what it came down to, was like I said before, like prioritizing my time, sacrificing the things that I didn't really need to keep doing and putting my workouts there. And that really just kind of balanced out everything. And then making sure my sleep's there. Just sleeping early. You kept telling me to get off my phone earlier. So hard, bro. So hard to do that. But like I try my best. But we usually try and go as early as we can. Like we put Omari to bed at around 8, and then usually if we're not doing anything that night, we'll go. Like we put Omari to bed around 8:30, and then usually if we don't have anything, we try and go to sleep at around the same time.
So what do you think like that moment was for you where you said to yourself, like, actually, no, I need to do something about this? Like, what was that turning point for you where you're like, actually, I need to make this change now?
The turning point for me was like I've always wanted to go to the gym. Like I've always wanted to go back to it. Like COVID really kind of pushed me back, and I quit I pretty much canceled my membership at my gym. And so then that kind of like made me, just the excuse to eat.
Yeah.
Do whatever. But I've always wanted to go back. And the turning point for me was when you hit me up.
Yeah.
That was like, I wanted something to push me. I didn't know what it was. I couldn't do it myself.
That accountability.
Yeah. So when you hit me up, I could either have looked at it as like, nah, I'm not doing that. Like, because now I have to be held accountable for it. Because I was so comfortable in my own space at that time that when you came along, I was just like so hesitant to say yes. But I knew in the back of my mind, that's the excuse I needed. That's my turning point.
Yeah.
Do that. This is it. Like.
Yeah, awesome.
So I took it.
Awesome.
9 months later.
Look at him.
Kaboom.
So 2 quick fire questions to finish off. So what would you say you're most proud of about your journey from the last 9 months?
The most proud thing about my journey is my wife, to be honest.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, like for her to jump on board. I already knew where I was going.
Yeah.
Like I knew, I'm proud of myself, obviously,
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
what I've achieved, but like really proud of my wife for jumping on board because I knew where she was, before that. Just to see her there as well. We're doing this together.
Yeah.
That's what I'm most proud of.
That's awesome. Last quick fire question is if you could give one piece of advice to that version of you, that version of Xy, 25 kilos heavier before you got started on the journey, before you knew any of this was going to happen, just you going about your day-to-day life, like what one piece of advice would you give to that version of you 9 months ago?
The one piece of advice that I would give myself 25 kilos ago would be to do exactly what I just did.
Yeah.
Is to jump in the deep end. Don't be afraid to be held accountable because I think that's like definitely one of the keys to progress, to reach your goals is to be held accountable by something outside of yourself.
Yeah, outside your comfort zone as well. Like you said, diving in the deep end and just throwing yourself in, I guess.
Yeah, because it's easier to be comfortable.
Yeah. No growth's made in the comfort zone.
No, nothing. But yeah, I would just say just dive in, do it, and anyone else that's in the same boat, just don't be afraid to get a little bit uncomfortable until you're comfortable. And then once you get comfortable again, get uncomfortable.
Yeah, keep challenging yourself.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Next photo shoot.
Next photo shoot, yeah, we need to get that booked in. Next for you, obviously, muscle building phase we're going into. And then, maybe booking in another photo shoot for later in the year. So big things coming up from you. I'm really looking forward to it. And it's been great talking through your journey today, just having a bit of a reflection and remembering like that past version of you, how far you've come. And I think it's really important just for everyone to do, really, just to think about your journey and reflect, because it's easy to forget where you started. So just keeping you motivated by remembering how far you've come, and not only that, but just celebrating your results. And now we keep pushing forwards. Yeah, let's see what we can do. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm ready.